Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video on Parker Herbie Bug. And today I'm going to make Germany a new empire. So Germany will be colored by red, shown through this entire video. And this video is inspired by AdizzPro, great YouTuber. I will go link him in the description. So let's begin. So Germany sent a telegram to Austria saying, hey, join us or war. Austria refuses, which leads to a war with Austria. Germany already mobilized for this, so they immediately cross off right here. It's cutting off a portion of the Austrian army. They swoop in, take it out. They started a large offensive. Austria are not prepared for this. Folds quite quickly. And Germany just annexes Austria. Like that. Now with Austria gone, Germany invades the Benelux. Nobody really does about this because, well, all the alliances are gone, so nobody can really do anything. So Luxembourg falls quite quickly. A major purchase is started on all fronts. They make an offensive toward Brussels, capture the city. Belgium surrenders. The Netherlands fights really hard, but they're eventually outnumbered, and Amsterdam falls, and they surrender. And eventually they're just annexed. Now with all this, Germany is a major power. It is as strong as they were back in imperial times. So their next target is Poland for all the lands right here. So already mobilized for this, Germany uses their entire military and launches an offensive. They go ahead and capture Warsaw, but the Poles are defiant as they don't want to lose their country. But Germany just swoops in and just takes most of it out, leading to Poland defending here. And by this point, both nations are exhausted, and so a new border is set up. Poland will stay independent, but with reduced lands. And Poland will have to pay war reparations as well. Now, Germany is the strongest country in Europe. They are able to rival France and Britain and probably take them out with ease. But they don't do that. Instead, they lift their attention towards Russia. I'm probably thinking, what? Well, if I were to show you, this and this are Russia. I'm sorry, I will color and get out of here, Poland. So, with Poland out, Germany wants to reestablish all lands that a German has ever owned. So they just buy this little piece of land right here. No issues. Okay, that was weird. Without issue, they just sell it over. But Russia can still use ports and stuff in it. But now with this, a Kaiser's been put back on the throne. A nephew of Wilhelm II. His father died because of COVID or something. Let's say his father died of COVID. So he's a much more aggressive person. He goes after the North Germanic countries. Which this will prove to be a challenge for even Germany. With this, Germany launches its first offensive, as they know that the Scandinavian nations are going to be able to put up a good fight. They're wanting to isolate the main part of Denmark, because that's really what they want. So they land here, take over a bunch of islands, make a small offensive here, just to distract Swedish divisions. They also make a small landing here to distract the Norwegian army. With this, Copenhagen falls, but Denmark refuses to surrender, and there is now a naval blockade going across the entire thing. So practically a lot of naval invasions happen, which right by Denmark, the Danish government escapes to Greenland. And now, with all these small invasions, they are reinforced, and with troops coming from Denmark, a more broad offensive is made. Oslo falls, but Norway continues to fight. But both nations establish a defense line about here. Germany is unable to push them back, so they use an alternative. They take a massive army, they sail up here, boom, right behind their lines, cutting it off. They meet up the northern troops. They're stuck up here, and now the defense line breaks. The Norwegian government is practically dead because it was just encircled. Sweden defends Stockholm as well as it can, saying that it will never surrender. But when Stockholm falls and a offensive is made up north, both nations lose hope. And Germany gains a lot of land, but all the nations survive. Denmark now escaping here becomes Greenmark. But this doesn't survive as the country falls into major debt, and without anyone supporting it, it joins USA. Now, Facon, now within the USA, the treaty is signed, which means all of Denmark, ceded over. This is ceded over to Germany, and so is this. That is the new German Empire. But Germany is not done yet, as they have a couple more pieces that they've left to go. But pride and determination is at an all-time high for the victories they've had. And their next two targets are going to be powerful nations. Well, actually not powerful nations, sorry. Weaker ones. Ones that they're able to easily invade. Also, speaking about weaker nations, since both the nations have been humiliated, Denmark, Sweden, Norway is reestablished. Just because both nations' economies are going to collapse if otherwise. The nation's economy has already collapsed, but this has helped. It will prevent a lot of collapsing, but the nation's economy has dropped and it's weak. Finland could easily wipe it out and annex it and establish Scandinavia. With this, Germany attacks the final 3 weaker nations at once. These. And with this, the Germans already, with a large portion of the German army right there, they just sail across and launched an invasion of Lithuania. Lithuania folds pretty easily, as all Germany wants is Memel. But that change of plans, nothing really happens. Just Memel ceded over to Germany. But Czechs put up a major resistance. Now when it fall into German occupation again. But Prague doesn't fall, as it's heavily offended. Unlike Czechia, the Slovenia just surrenders, as they know they have no chance. With this, Germany sends a treaty to Czechia, as the Czechs even know that if, despite their resistance, Germany will be able to overpower them. So with the Sudetenland being ceded over to Germany, the Czechs really just go about their business again. But poor thing for Slovenia, their nation no longer exists. It's a sad thing, but who cares? Slovenia was weak anyways. Italy was probably gonna kill it or something. And now with this, Germany has become even way stronger. They also established that make an alliance with Lithuania to protect it, as that's one of the terms. So Czechia is left alone. Czechoslovakia is reunited. To defend themselves. So now there's one less target for the German Empire. France. You're probably wondering where I'm going? Well, if you didn't know, France is not only in Europe, they own a little piece right here. France prepared for this. With France being prepared, the German army is stuck right. Only small advances are made, as the French army defends with everything they have. But now Germany has already occupied everything it's wanted, so they send a telegram. So they send a note to, well, they call the Kaiser of Germany calls the president of France, saying, "Hey, all we want is the occupied lands, and you guys don't have to pay anything." France not wanting to be humiliated again, but knowing that this would be a bloody war, and they would probably that's going to be a really bloody war, and wanting to save a lot of lives, France accepts, leading to the occupation of these lands to the German Empire. Now, many people in Germany feel invincible. With this, now there's like a 5-year period of just building up, and they go after their old colonies of, well, yeah, I'm joking. They go after here. They see it as the weakest nations, but they make an alliance with the DRC. They make an alliance with the DRC to, as in this war, the DRC would get the Republic of Congo, while Germany would get the rest. A German Navy is already stationed right here. So they land in Equatorial Guinea, looking at the nation, and a push is started across the entire front line. And then the DRC, taking its entire military, also launches an invasion. But the Republic of Congo and Gabon, please tell me if I'm right, they defend really well. But both nations eventually link up. The Germans managed to capture all the sea, and a lot of the military is encircled. The Republic of Congo's capital falls, and Gabon's capital has already fallen. But both nations still defend until they're eventually wiped off the map. The underground resistance continues fighting, not wanting to be, annexed, especially by a European. Now, if the Congo is now really happy, people no longer call them the DRC, they just call them the Congo, since there's only one left. And also, DRC buys that. While Germany gets the rest of the spoils of war. So, thank you for watching. This is my video based on AdizzPro. Well, I got this idea from him of Germany what if Germany made an empire in 2022? They capture parts of Norway and Sweden. Denmark is gone. They forcefully made an alliance with Lithuania, and they made a peaceful alliance with the Congo. And they captured a lot of Europe. So thank you for enjoying. Goodbye.